Hi Prita, welcome to the GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. We can see that your spine's nice and straight and on a slight tilt. Looks great. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Unfortunately, you do hang your arms in really tight, and then the golf club works out to the ball. So what we'd like to do is just let your arms hang out a little bit further away from you, and then let the golf club work out to the ball from that vantage point. From here, and take a look at your alignment as well. We can see that your feet are running in this direction. Carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera would have an appearance to converge. And under that scenario, we can see that you're sort of set up right at sort of the corner of that water's edge there, but you're not going to reach that water anyway. So, I mean, you're pretty much aiming into the right corner of that fairway, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Chella Choi. We'll bring her up on the left side of the screen. Now we've got some color-coded lines on the screen here just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. But before we go ahead and take a look at that, just notice how much further away Chella's hands are from her thighs, and that's what I was talking about by letting your hands and arms work out a little bit more. Okay, now from here, as we take the golf club back, there's a few primary things we want to do. We want to create good shoulder rotation, extend the arms back, create rotation about a very stable right side, and create some wrist hinge. So we can see here with Chella, let's look at her shoulders. They turn nicely. She does that about a very stable right leg. She creates a very good wrist hinge. And what that means is the club right now at address, the club head is sitting below and in front of our hands. What we want to do is, as we bring the club back, we want to move the club head above and behind our hands while we're creating that rotation. You see that there? So that means the club is, it's on plane and still in a solid position to create a lot of power. And then we will also want to try and keep our arms extended. So we want to try and keep our arms away from our core. We don't want to let them fold and get too congested to our body. So as we watch you initiate your takeaway here, we can see that you draw your hands back initially quite well, not really rotating your shoulders. And actually, sorry, there's one other thing I wanted to point out. As we create this entire move, especially the rotation, I want you to pay attention to the fact that Chella Choi basically maintains her spinal tilt. So what we want to do is we want to rotate off of the axis we achieve at address. So here she goes, she rotates and she keeps her spine in that position. So as you bring your golf club back, we see your hands working well, club's coming back, not really fully rotating the shoulders. Get a little bit of wrist hinge in there, so that all looks good. But we definitely need stronger shoulder rotation. And then from here, as you continue to move back, your arms start to work up a little bit and you start to stand up a little. So we're not rotating and maintaining our spinal tilt. So that's really the biggest thing we would like to see from you is we really want to let the shoulders turn. We want to maintain the spinal axis. And then we can see here, well, I can see it might be a little difficult because you're wearing all black clothing, but your arms are also compressing to your core a little bit as well. Okay? From the top of the backswing, all we want to simply do now is we really want to just take our weight from our right foot, fire it to the left. Want to unwind the core and fire the hands, and in doing that, let's just pay attention to the footwork. So Chella Choi is going to swing back into the ball. She's simply going to come off of her right heel as she strikes the ball, and she's going to come up onto the toe of her right foot, and that gets all her weight to her left side and allows her to finish her golf swing. Okay, so her hips can square around, shoulders can fully rotate, the hands can be high, and the club back in behind her. So as you swing through, let's just sort of see what you do here. Okay, so, sorry, there's one other thing we need to point out. So when we're at the top of the backswing and the left arm situated with the club on the yellow line, when we make this motion where we're moving from our right foot to our left, unwinding the core and fire our hands, ultimately what we have to be able to do is bring the golf club from yellow back down onto red, which is where the club originated. And that's exactly what we can see here with Chella Choi. The club is returned back to plane. So this position right here between the lead forearm and the golf club is very important because the golf club has to be in this position creating any power. So what we can see here is we can see that the golf club is really much in the exact same position it was in when we first created that whole transition from the beginning. So the club was here, and what did we say? We wanted to get the golf club to create this hinge where the club head was going to move above and behind the hands, right? So the club right now, club head's in front and below. Now the club head is above and behind. So notice that shaft angle is the exact same position as when she comes back into the ball. And that's what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing here, okay? So with you as you're coming in the ball, unfortunately you're making an over-the-top move. So we can see here with you from the top of the backswing that you push that club out in front of you. You see that there? So you're throwing the club out away. Now, if you created better turn while maintaining your spinal tilt, you'd have a better chance of bringing the club into the ball a little bit better, like we're showing you on the left-hand side of the screen. So unfortunately, we throw that club out in front of us, and as we throw the club out in front of us, unfortunately, we're not achieving what I refer to here as a backwards check mark. You see with Chela Choi here, this backwards check mark, where the club head's above and behind, and ultimately the ability to create power. So as we throw the club out in front, with the club never returning back to plane, unfortunately, there's just not going to be a lot of power with that movement back into the golf ball, and you're going to end up attacking the ball from what's referred to as outside to inside. So now your club, if we just clear this off the screen, your club's basically moving from outside the ball, dropping down and across, making contact, and then moving to the inside there. Okay, so that's going to obviously have an influence on where your golf ball wants to start. If you're obviously swinging in this direction, then the ball would want to head that way. And if we square the club face up or over release it, well, then the ball might go further left on you. If you leave the club face open, it'll go to the right. So now there's a lot of issues with the timing of the club face. That's going to determine what happens to the golf ball there. Now, I actually wanted to show you one more thing, here with Chela Choi. So let's actually just bring her up on the right side of the screen. I want you to pay attention to her footwork here. So as she swings back into the ball, getting back to what I had originally talked about before I went to talk about your downswing plane. We come into the ball, we simply want to swing the club back in, strike the ball. We want our right heel to get off the ground. And then we want that right heel to keep moving up off the ground, get up onto the toe of the right foot. That'll get all our weight to our left side, allow our hips to square around the shoulders to fully rotate. So I want to reiterate that because we need to create proper footwork to get through to a full finish. And when it comes down to it, when we're first learning to play the game or we're pretty new, we just really want to have some really good general swing motion. So what is that general swing motion? Well, first and foremost, we want to try and obviously set up to the ball well, good posture. So in your case, get your hands and arms a little further away from you. And then ultimately what we're trying to do here is we want to turn, good wrist hinge on a stable right side. Then from here, we want to move through and we want to get off our right heel, up onto our right toe so we can get our weight on our left side. And that way we can face our target and finish the golf swing. So I just wanted to reiterate that and show that to you because when we're coming through, we can see that your right heel's still on the ground. And as you carry your golf swing through, we're never ever creating any of that proper footwork through to the finish. So just definitely want to learn to create that footwork through to your finish. It'll really make your golf swing aesthetically look a lot better, be a lot more efficient, a lot more natural, and will carry you through the golf ball more and obviously be able to hit it further due to creating that footwork. Okay? So overall, as far as a little quick summary, again, try and improve that setup a little bit, try and get the hands and arms a little bit further away from us. When we bring the golf club back, we want to rotate the shoulders more and maintaining our spinal tilt. And then when we swing through, simply want to get the right heel to come up off the ground so we can get up on the toe of the right foot and complete that swing a little bit better. Okay? Nonetheless, great hand activity. Your hands come back, they fire through. Your upper body wants to turn and uncoil. Like I said, finishing position will look better when you learn to create that proper footwork. Nonetheless, if at any point in time you want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to put together a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all and you guys are looking for a unique gift to give to your guests, feel free to reach out. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a fantastic day, and hope you enjoyed getting the opportunity to see your swing on video.